Hi everybody, I'm Carmen with Happy Beaver Custom Carvings. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a project for my mother. I've actually been working on it for 2 days. Went and bought the wood a couple days ago, glued them to 2 pieces of the premium pine boards and glued them together, and then shaped the board and ran the outline template with my laser. It would look just fine with a laser. However, I think everything looks more impressive when it's carved. But this is the Bible verse, John 3:16 and 3:17. And I think this is going to be really fun. It's not going to be a hard carve because the letters are fairly large, as you can see. However, it is a lot of words, but it won't be too much of a difficult project at all. At the end, I'm going to curve over these edges with a little bit of a framing bit and paint them, and we'll have a nice, pretty dark frame to it. So let's get started. Just gonna go pick up my router. I'm starting out with the profile bit at 3/16 of an inch deep, just to do the thicker lines. And you see they come to a point, and I just kind of raise my router up just a little bit in order to get to that point without it being dulled out and rounded. Next, I move to the carving liner so that I can stay at 3/16 of an inch deep, but get these smaller lines, as it is a much skinnier bit. I purchase all my bits from makeawoodsign.com, and I'll leave a link below in case you're interested. I decided to slow the video down right here so that I can demonstrate how I carve these letters with this delicate font. I did start out with a profile bit at one time to try to clear out some of the larger areas, but realized it really wasn't doing me any benefit, so I just went ahead and stayed with the carving liner the whole time. And I just tried to get really close to where the edges of the black that was burnt into it is. It's really hard in those little tight areas right there. I have to lift up the router just a teeny tiny bit. This takes a lot of time, but it definitely is a reward of having a nice, clean, carved look. I know handmade's not supposed to be so clean, but I can't help it. I really like it that way. Okay, you want me to give it a quick little spray with polyacrylic? I say a quick little spray because I'm super cold. I'm doing this so that it won't be having any bleeding whenever actually paint the letters with the brown. So, woo. Seriously. Need to get more polyacrylic. I'm going to be taking this inside to dry because it's cold. I don't like winter. Don't want it all. No. Oh, yes. I think, I could be wrong. Oh, knitting sticking on my butt. I think the pine and the whitewoods, or maybe you just notice it more, seem to bleed a lot more. So I'm gonna have to be disciplined and not spray too much. I want to spray the brown. Did I mention it's cold? Okay. Could be overkill. Better than underkill. Yay! And I'll bring it inside to dry. This is going to take some serious discipline for me because I am a terrible oversprayer and I do not want there to be a lot of bleeding on this watercolored pine. I guess it's yellow, white, yellow, white. Look at you. Here we go. Oh my gosh, I'm cold. I'm going to spray in all different angles. So coffee bean brown. I like this color. Something different than black. It's going to make that frame really stand out. Actually look like a frame. Oh, I almost forgot to spray across. I got smart and put a coat on. I don't know why this knitting keeps sticking to me. Stop it. Ah. And we'll see how it looks tomorrow. Because I'm going to have the patience. I know I will. I believe in myself. To actually let it dry. Edge of the rim. Rim of the edge. Edge of the rim. Which way do you say it? I don't know. Okay. Looks good. So my plan was to wait until tomorrow so I knew everything was good and dry. But as usual, I have no patience, so I can't. Just got to do it. And I want to see what it looks like. I'll peel this off slowly. I don't want to peel up the wood, which I've done before. Okay, maybe not so slow. I love the contrast of the dark paint against the lighter colored wood. And I'm going to put it on time lapse so it doesn't go so slow for y'all. Oh, please. It takes a lot of time to remove all this paper, especially because you have to get all the insides of the A's, the O's, any letter that has a circle. I try different things like tweezers, little hooks, anything, but I don't want to like mess up the wood or scratch the wood while I'm doing it. In the end, this requires very little sanding as all the paint was on top of the paper. Okay, so now we're at the fun part. We're going to start painting. She said she wants the cross in a really dark brown. I don't know how well it's going to show up with all these really dark brown lines. However, we can always lighten it up if we need to. I'm going to paint the sash green and the ropes like a gold color. So let's get started. Painting this cross was a lot of fun for me, and it's just a small project. It doesn't require a whole lot of extra detail to it. I love this green on this sash. I'm painting it all the same shade of green, and then I'll add in highlights afterwards. I'm highlighting the green with some yellow because the sun is yellow, and also yellow in the greens also just makes it look lighter than trying to do white. It won't look as natural. I added a tinge of black into the green because the back of the sash should be a little bit shaded. And I'm topping it off with putting some gold into the rope. It really stands out against the brown. On the bottom here, I watered down some paint and in some areas made it a little bit more concentrated to give it some more depth. And then I just cleaned up the creases. And here we are at the conclusion of the episode where I carved out the Bible verses, John 3:16 and 3:17. And a little bit of a difficult font, but I used a carving liner from makeawoodsign.com. Love the carving liner. It gives such detail. So I think it turned out really well. Carved it on a couple of pieces of premium pine boards that were glued together. As you can see, you see no seam on the boards. Should be right about in here. I'm really loving the way the green shows on the cross. Very pretty. Kind of hope I get more orders for these because I actually really enjoyed this project. I hope you enjoyed watching this episode. If you did, like and subscribe. Until the next project, see ya.